Hi guys, today in our wellness lesson, I wanted to teach you how to make a DIY hand sanitizer and surface spray, right? So a sanitizer in general. This is being recorded during the COVID-19 pandemic, and that also means that hand sanitizers are pretty difficult to come by right now. So this was a recipe actually put out by doTERRA in their blog because some of the doTERRA products are on back order and it's hard for us to get them, including their sanitizing hand mist. Now, with this recipe, and I'll put it down below so that you can have it, so you can make it yourself. With this recipe, I was actually missing a couple things, but I improvised. So it actually calls for 5 tablespoons of aloe vera gel. I don't actually have the gel, but I do have an aloe plant. So I actually milked the plant. I already have it ready to go. And at the very end of the video, if you have an aloe plant and you're not sure how to get the gel out, I'll show you an effective way on how to do that. So in addition to the aloe gel, it also is 4 tablespoons of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of vitamin E oil. That is what I do not have. So I'll be omitting that in my recipe, but if you have it, add it to yours. 20 drops of On Guard essential oil blend and 2/3 cups rubbing alcohol. Now, this is older than dirt. I pulled it out of the back of the cupboard because it's not something I use, but I still had it on hand. You need to make sure when you're making a sanitizing spray that the alcohol content in it is at least 60%, and that's coming from the CDC. That's not something I made up. Rubbing alcohol, this one's 91%. If you find other sources of alcohol out there, make sure that it has at least 60%. All right. So with that, I actually already made up a batch. I like to make it in a mason jar. This actually has the alcohol, the water, and the On Guard already done. Now, what I haven't done is add the aloe. So with the aloe, I would literally, where'd my spoon go? There it is. Whoops, I'm stepping on a dog. With the aloe, I'm trying to do this backwards. I'm left-handed, so bear with me. I'm just going to slide it right in here and let it get in there. There's that. Actually, let me put this over here so it doesn't make a mess. I'm going to put the lid back on and I'm going to shake it up really, really, really good. Now, I do recommend a spray bottle. I purchased this through doTERRA. You can get it pretty much anywhere online. And I chose to go with a high-grade plastic because I actually keep these in my purse. You could use like a glass bottle, like one of these, if you're using it around the house. Glass is always better when you're using it with essential oils. But again, high-grade plastic, when your oils are diluted, you would never put oil directly in plastic without it being diluted because the oil will degrade the plastic. So that's not what we want. So with that, I would take my container, and you have a couple options depending on what container you're going to use to put this in. You could use either a funnel, which I found fills this up super fast and can make a mess, but if that's all you have, that's what you're going to do, or a pipette. So a lot of us that are into oils, we already have pipettes. You can do it and squish it in, and so on and so on and so on. Now, a tip that I will share, make sure after you make this that you put a label on your bottle. There's been many a day where I have made a concoction or a DIY and not labeled it. So I actually have back here like a coat spray for the dog's coats, labeled, thank goodness. Another little trick for when labeling your bottles is to take the lid stickers, well, many of us have those, and put it on the bottle so that you know what's the mix in here. And then, there's also ones that you can pre-buy. But this one, I would literally put a piece of tape on there and handwrite sanitizer. and call it good. So that is how you make your own DIY hand sanitizer, great for going out or even spraying down surfaces at home as needed. So hold on one second. I'm going to show you how to get the aloe out of the plant next. Hold on. Now that we have cut a piece of our aloe plant, I'm actually going to take a large spoon and use it to milk the aloe. I've tried using it with doing my hands and it works just fine, but I have found using a spoon is much more effective and I get more out. So with that, I take the flat bottom side of the spoon and I just start milking my way, starting at the top or the middle, depending on how big your piece is. And I start by squishing it down in a repetitive motion to the point where it starts coming out. Now, aloe is very snotty, so as you'll find. So it's important that you keep it separated or else it just kind of makes a big old mess. So with that, you just keep working it over and over. Kind of awkward because I'm trying to keep it in camera view here. And with that, every little bit I get, I then transfer into another little container so that I can gauge how much I have. You can also measure it if need be. But that is how you milk an aloe. There you go. I'll see you all next week with our next lesson.